It is December 19th, 2016, and this is InSoFast, our question and answer for the week session. And we are now available live. Okay, a lot of questions happened this week, and one of the most interesting questions that we do get quite often is, I see information about everything except running water lines. I'm putting a bathroom in the basement, and the water lines for the sink, shower, and toilet will be on the outside wall. How do I run lines through the InSoFast product? Now, I just happen to have a couple of panels with me, so let me zoom out here. And get a panel, two panels, and they are self-aligning interlocking panels, always on the back side of the panels, this being the front face with the studs, and this being the back of the panel that would be up against the concrete wall. You can easily run water pipes in the raceway sections that are already built in to the panel. Now, water lines are a little different than most other things, and InSoFast is an insulation barrier. So as an insulation barrier, you have to be aware of what side of the wall you're going to be on. If you're on the cold side of the wall and you're running water lines on the interior that'll never get heat, you have a potential for freezing. The concrete wall rolling all the way down and getting to that line and freezing it. So you have to be cognizant of that as you're doing it. Now, can we do it? Sure. Is it a good thing to do? Not always. Not always. This panel right here, I did cut and fit. So, and a question someone asked earlier, can you fit these water pipes in through here? And yes, you can. And again, it's not if, taking it to the outside, is should you. So that's the question I want you to consider when you're thinking about using InSoFast on an outside wall and running water lines into it. One of the solutions that works well would be what I call the you saw in that particular picture that you can build that wood wall out and run all your water pipes in there. Now that would be on the warm side of the wall, and the InSoFast would be doing what it's supposed to do. That's insulating you from the exterior and creating a barrier between the concrete, which is always full of moisture, and the interior space. So you're putting that insulation barrier and then putting your wood wall, your mold sensitive material on the interior of a well-worn and conditioned space. So that is probably the best way to do it. Now, limited amount of running water pipes through a wall like this, depending on your climate zone, it's probably not that big of a deal. But do beware, and we even do call out for that. On our website. And on our website, if you go up to the search button, It's really a powerful searching tool, and I, of course, already put in frozen pipes, so it can take you to an article about frozen pipes. And again, here's another article that talks all about freezing water pipes and what to do and how to carry it on the inside, and how this particular customer was able to solve that condition on a wall. Now, as long as we're in the website, let me show you a few more features and what we have available. Now, more like this is a whole bunch of different topics about adhesives, basements. It's what other people are searching, especially if you go to a basement cost comparison. We've had 2,080 views on this particular web page because people are looking for, well, what does InSoFast cost? What does it cost per square foot? Is this expensive? Is this inexpensive? Should I do it or shouldn't I do it? So we've put together a bunch of comparisons, and on a small job of about 440 square feet, we compare the different prices. A traditional best way to do it, which would be foam insulation glued to the wall and then framing it out on the inside, best traditional way to do it, it would cost you about $2.13 a square foot. And we break those costs down just below and give you a material list of what you would have to buy from Home Depot or Lowe's or any of your local lumber stores, and on how you can compare the different prices, all the parts and pieces and what you'd have to get. And of course, this column right here is all the totals added up. And then if you scroll down a little bit further, you see what it would cost for doing InSoFast. It would be 11 boxes. That would cost you $79.60, $8.75. And then buying the Loctite PL Premium from the home store is going to cost you about $70. So our total is $945. If you want to upgrade and go to the 2.5 panel, and we can always talk about the benefits of doing that, but not in this particular session, it is going to cost you a little bit more than it would if you did it the traditional way. Now, where we get this prices has sent a bunch of confusion to our customers, you, because we say totals excluding the InSoFast panels are based on material and pricing from Home Depot online. Now, we link to Home Depot online so you can check your local prices with the material lists that we supply, because we can't keep up with the prices as they fluctuate throughout the United States. So you can go ahead and compare those prices and total it out for yourself. So we've had a lot of customers going into Home Depot and say, do you carry Home Depot? Do you carry InSoFast? Where is it? Well, it's not available from Home Depot. It's only and exclusively available through us. Only and exclusively available through us. So, although we really appreciate you going in and asking Home Depot if they can purchase it, at this point we don't have a marketing agreement or sales agreement with them. So you can buy direct from us. We're also that goes for Lowe's or any of the big box stores. We have very limited distribution. In fact, we're not a major manufacturer. What we're doing, similar to what a craft beer manufacturer would be doing, is we're gathering the finest ingredients and putting them together into a handcrafted, manufactured, high value product, a high performance. We're not just making board stock that just shoots out of an extrusion. We're making a product that works for you. And this is a little video that I can show you real quick. Maybe not real quick, but let me just get to that.
Has embedded studs in it, so it actually will have a surface to screw drywall onto. The studs are manufactured out of a copolymer plastic, so they're never going to rust or decay.
So you can see how we handcraft and we co-mold our stud. This stud into this panel. It goes all the way through, and that would be our glue strip, our open truss web right here, which gives us the ability to not thermally transfer a lot of energy through the wall, but yet it anchors us back to the structure of the building, because really a concrete wall is a whole heck of a lot stronger than a wood wall in the end. So we're laminating, gluing, setting like tiles, these insulation panels, but give you the ability to mechanically attach, screw attach, and use your finishes. So we're a high value product that includes insulation, a vapor barrier, electrical raceways into the back of the panel, and your layout every 16 inches on center. So we are insulation, framing, vapor barrier, and we're just easy to do. So getting back to these great questions we got this week. Do you have any best practice to insulate the area at the top of the concrete wall, rim joist, sill plate area? I plan to run the InSoFast to the bottom of the floor joist. You know, we do have a lot of recommendations, and that's another really important section of our website. And if we go back to the InSoFast section and take a look, go up to the very top, go back to the home page, and if we go to Products, Explore, Technical, the Technical and the Interior Guide, that's probably our most powerful section that we have for you, the InSoFasters, who are now going to be installing the InSoFast. You click on Interior Guides, and that's going to give you these quick links. And if you go to quick link number 15, that'll take you right to the rim joist area. Now, a rim joist area is probably more important to insulate before you insulate the basement walls. Now, that really hurts me because I sell the InSoFast, but the sealing and insulating a rim joist is extremely important. And we have a number of ways to do it. And the good, the bad, the different. And we even take you to videos like this, how to seal and insulate using spray foam. And these links and these videos, oops, didn't want to go there. Didn't want to go there, sorry. They will guide you through it and give you a basic how-to, but I want to show you that today. Oh yeah, on the bottom we get into our comments and question and answer, and we also link different videos that you can take a look at, like Ask InSoFast, how to do a half-high wall. So we're trying to give you as much information as we can, but here are our different links: our Facebook, our Twitter, our YouTube, our Pinterest, our house. Like, if you went to Facebook, we'd really appreciate that if you liked us. And not now. If you liked us and shared us with your friends. So if you can, we'd appreciate it if you would. So, how to do the rim joist? Well, let's just run through that real quick. I'll tell you, in this particular example, up here, I don't know if you can see this on camera, but here I've actually spray foamed my basement and seal it off that way. Now, in using the InSoFast is super easy to cut. This is already a cut panel, and this is the top part of that cut panel. And cutting the InSoFast is either a hand saw, a skill saw, or even a saber saw or jigsaw, depending on what part of the country you're from. This panel was cut in half, and it was and is for this section right up here. It's a 1/2 inch short from the very top of the joist, so you can slip it in and then drop it down and lock it into place. Now, I'm not gluing this because I had to take it on and off and on and off, but the reason to use InSoFast is because of those studs and the benefit of doing a complete wall that's only 2 inches thick. Let me put this aside now. So another section that we want to do, and I want to switch to that's still the wrong angle. There we go. That's what I want to show you. Now I'm going to have to move all these saws out of my way because we are talking about the top of the wall. And if you're going to talk about the top of the wall, you have to go, well, what do I do when I get very to the top and we come to a plate at the top of the rim joist? Now, this being a very big rim joist right now, but here what we have. And if you look closely at this section, you can see how the concrete block is exposed. Now, there should be a bond breaker. This should be filled in, but because it isn't, we're going to want to seal this off because a concrete block will still wick moisture and air, and a lot of moisture and air is coming through here. Good building practice would say that this would be sealed off before the rim joist goes on, and in this case it wasn't, but it gives us an opportunity to demonstrate what you do here. Now, this is from another session where we're actually doing a bowed wall and how to glue it to the floor using spray foam, and then actually shimming this out with these screws right here and here and here that will plumb this wall, keep it off from the wall at the right depth and distance, and then we'll come back spray foam along the bottom, set that in place, spray foam in between here and here, and if we need to, we can actually brace the InSoFast underneath these screws like this to hold it in place until the glue sets. Now this is one of many ways that you can do this. Another way would be getting a piece of wood and just screwing it all together so it's one solid piece and then gluing it up there and bracing it and kicking it back to the floor. But that's for another time and another adventure. So let's see. Now, this is the most important section that you work with, and you can use any kind of insulation. I've chosen a polyisocyanurate along the top as a block, and what I would be doing would be gluing it down to the very top, leaving a gap in between here and here, and then spraying it together. Now you can see this particular piece, as we glue and set this into place, is actually higher than this wood sill plate. And that was done intentionally. When we're working with these and sealing it in, we cut these to fit, and again, to plumb out this wall, still a little bit higher, we pop this in, and now we can air seal this all together and make it a good solid package. If you look right here, this actually extends out further, but that's so the wall would be plumb and flush. That camera kicks off every now and then. That would be plumb and flush. Now, to finish off the top of this, these pre-cut pieces, nope, wrong pre-cut. Fit right up along this cap, right here, right there. So we got our capped off area, and then I believe these are the ones I wanted to put. Nope. Ah, bingo, found it. Now we have an insulated top section of the wall that wraps around, continues all the way up here. We've finished our insulation panel. Oh, wait a minute. Let me impress you with some more cut pieces. Finishing up there, cut that, roll it down. Good enough. I'm removing that so you can see what I'm doing. Now, what do you do here? There's a lot of different ways you can finish off this top. One of the ways that you can do it is get a wood top like this. But this soft foam edge, you can run your drywall all the way up here, and you can mechanically attach it and then bring a drywall piece right out there and then just glue the drywall to here and here, or going to a major lumber store, home or Lowe's, you can get what is known as a metal L angle, or light gauge at right angle. This angle can be glued to the soft top of the InSoFast with the Loctite PL Premium, and as you set that glue, as that glue sets, you can tape it right here and here. So when it's taped down solid, the glue's not going to push it away, and now you have a solid edge in which to finish off this outside corner. An outside corner like right here, or if you want, you can do an inside corner like this and glue it in and tape it in. But that's not necessary. It's nice to have to be able to screw down the drywall at the very edge, but because this is a solidly backed wall, and when drywall goes up against it, there's no flex or any dynamic movement like a traditional wood wall. So that's okay. Just glue the drywall to that edge right there and glue it to this edge, screw it in here, screw it in there, and you got yourself a nice, tight, sharp, crisp, good-looking job that you can mechanically attach to, and the drywall is able to bridge that. It's a different wall. It's not like this wall where if you pushed on it in the center, it would flex. We're not going to flex, solidly backed. Now, this is also great for other locations, and we had one customer, I don't know if you can see this, he was talking about, oh, what do I do when the joists run parallel with this wall and there's no place to screw the drywall into? Now, we covered that on our website in the discuss area at the bottom of the page. Scroll down, you can see like drywall clips, but this L angle 2 will work right there by mechanically attaching this onto the studs and rolling that up to the right height of the ceiling, and then bringing your drywall across and screwing your drywall into this metal angle, using it more or less on the reverse side of this, on the inside. Going down. So that's another way you can do it. There's no single one best way to build. And that's the adventure that you're all going to. All right, so that pretty much covers that. Let me see. Let's get back to nope, wrong camera. All right, so that should be the correct camera. Okay. We covered the best practice. Talked a little bit about bowed walls. Now, someone is living in a new condo built in 1998. It's made a split-face block exterior. That means that concrete block that's sort of rough and textured, and it pieces all together. Our bedroom gets down to 43 degrees in the winter. Whew. We replaced the only sliding door in the room, no windows, and it didn't help. I want to rip the drywall off and add insulation, but I think there's only 1.5 inches, 1.5 inch studs against a split block with it sure doesn't feel like it, any insulation between the drywall and the block. Can I remove the drywall and put the InSoFast in between the studs and rehang the drywall? Yes, but I would say no. You can, doesn't mean you should. Now, I think what you're asking is, if you were to tear out the wall, and this being a concrete block surface right here, and you wanted to cut the InSoFast to fit in between there, and I just happen to have a properly cut InSoFast piece, and this is in between the two studs, and these are in between the two studs, you can fit this in there and insulate. Now, that's a really good way to insulate, to fill in this cavity, but you could do that with less expensive foam. What I mean by that is the expense of our foam is in this stud, which you'd have to eliminate. So you can do this with you wouldn't want to do that. You can, you don't have to. And additionally, if you were to do that and leave this wood here and then put the InSoFast right on top of it and then screw the InSoFast to the stud, yeah, you could do that. You could do something like this. Mechanically attaching that to the wall, and you use just a regular screw. But here's the challenge, and what I want to warn you against. To answer your question, it would be better to rip that wood off and have the InSoFast directly applied to the surface. And here is why. Forgive me one second. When you trap a natural product like wood up against a potentially wet wall, and concrete always wicks water, concrete can wick water 1,000 feet, so it's always going to be damp. So putting lumber or leaving lumber up against that wall is a bad idea. Now, as you tear off that wall, it might not be rotten now, but there is a potential, and it has a very low potential for drying out. So water is going to build up and cause a problem. That's why we always try to eliminate any kind of wood touching concrete which has alkalis in it. It'll start to tear it apart and rot. It's like this analogy. Going from rotten wood, when you trap plastic material, if you trap organic material in between plastic, what happens over time is that mold can start to eat away and start to rot away at that. So if you're working up against a masonry block wall and you have wood, it's best to eliminate as much of that wood as you possibly can. So yes, you can, but should you know, So back to our little adventure. Okay, oh, and the person who was asking about drywall clips, let me see if I can find that little section on our website. Going back to the interior guides, going to rim joists. Nope, wasn't there. Let me go back up. Technical interior guides. Oh. Ah, there we go. Imperfect ceiling heights. Again, always videos. There's video playlists about what can happen, where it happens, how to do the top of the wall. All right, well, I'm just going to move on from that since I can't find it. And we're going to go back to the list of questions. I call this one Frosty the Snowman. Hello. I was recommended to check into your product by a coworker who's a satisfied customer. Always love that kind, how somebody starts a paragraph out like that. I live in Ohio and currently the weather outside is below freezing. Welcome to winter. I am having condensation on my garage doors and on my poured garage door walls. I believe this is because my unheated garage is attached to my conditioned basement. The relative humidity is high in the area, so when the warmer air, around 54 degrees in the garage, meets the cold poured walls, I believe it condenses and even frosts. Would InSoFast panels be a good match for this situation? I believe I may need to also install a dehumidifier attached to our images where a framed wall with garage door meets poured concrete wall with a frost. All right, let's take a look at that particular one. I got to go back to my buffers. All right, let's get out of this wood, and this is what he's talking about. And this is actually pretty cool. And you can see the concrete that comes right up against the interior warm wall, and you can see where the frost is. And yeah, that is going to be a constant condition where when the concrete gets super cold and it's high humidity in the basement, it is definitely a high humidity in the garage, it is going to condense someplace. Water is very persistent when it comes to that. It will condense where you don't want it to be. Unfortunately, InSoFast will help in this situation, but it's not going to solve the situation. It's not going to solve that situation because what the condition that you have is a super cold wall, limited amount. All building materials have a certain amount of moisture capacity, and once it exceeds that moisture capacity, water if the humidity, the relative humidity is high enough, it will condense. Now, what you can do with InSoFast is actually isolate that cold wall from the moisture, and that would eliminate a lot of that condensation problem. But that condensation problem, as the more you eliminate materials that can accept moisture condensation, the greater the frost potential is going to be on that garage door. So although we'd solve that condensation and that frost problem, and we'd warm that garage up by a little bit, we wouldn't solve that problem that you're trying to fix. You would have to insulate that garage door and make it sort of a whole solution instead of just handling the parts. Think of a building as more or less a complete system and not parts. If you solve one condition, doesn't mean that it isn't going to another condition isn't going to occur. So that garage door, which is uninsulated and it has those through wall metal channels, is always going to be super cold, and that's always where the water is going to condense. Now you can spend some money by dehumidifying that area to get rid of that frost on that wall, but what we've learned about dehumidification and leaky garage doors, the more you dehumidify, the more moisture is going to be drawn into the concrete. As the concrete dries out and you dehumidify the air, it's going to draw more moisture through the concrete, and nature's trying to seek a balance. There's a certain amount of humidity that's going to be in the air, and it's going to find it from somewhere. So you dehumidify, you draw more moisture in, so you dehumidify some more, so you draw some more moisture in. So you get yourself into a cycle. So you're on the right track with starting to insulate and condition that and reduce the amount of moisture coming in there. But that leaky garage door with those cold metal channels seem to be your biggest challenge. Walls are easy, we can fix that for you, but everything else is kind of hard. All right. All right, we get a lot of questions like this. I have a block building, 17 by 80, inside dimensions. 3 walls are block, and the current ceiling height is 10 foot. Part of it, I'm raising the ceiling height to 15 feet. That area would be about 30 linear feet. How much material would I need to purchase to cover all the block? How much is shipping, and what is the typical delivery time frame after the order? Now, the information I got was really good, but it was incomplete. What you have to think of when you're trying to figure out how many square feet of InSoFast you need, don't think of floor square footage. The dimension of 17 by 80 is actually the floor square footage. You multiply those two numbers together, you're going to get something completely different than what the wall area is. Now, it's 10 foot high, and I called this gentleman and asked for clarifications. He's only doing 3 walls. So the 3 walls that he's doing are 2 80-foot long walls and 1 17-foot long wall. So one 17-foot long wall. So he has 80 plus 80 plus 17 is 177 lineal feet, 10 feet high. So you multiply the 10 times the lineal footage, the 80 plus 17, and you come out with 177 times 10, or 1,770 square feet. Now he then goes on and tells me that the 30 linear feet actually is 30 plus 17 and 5 foot tall. So that 30 plus 30 is 60 time plus 17, that's 77 lineal feet times 5, and I got to figure that one out. Well, actually, it's pretty easy. It's, if you divide it in half, it's 17 by 30. What would that be? 30, 60, 77. So he needs another, he needs 210 lineal feet of wall 10 foot high, or 2,010 square feet, because it's 5 times, it would be 445. So he'd actually use that. I got to figure it out, sorry. 30 plus 30 plus 17. So that would be 77 lineal feet times 5, 35, 30. 385. That would be 2,185 square feet. So let's go to the website and go to this order button, Products, Explore Technical Order, and place an order. And now this gentleman's doing a project, so we click Project, and then it says Select a Panel. Now let's select the, well, take a look right here. Here's our price breakdown. But to get a quote, you pick a panel, and then you put in your square footage. In this case, it was it's 2,185. That would be 55 boxes of the InSoFast. Oops. And we'll just add to cart. And that project would cost him $3,894. And if we wanted to do the same thing and compare the price, project, this time we'll pick the 2.5. We'll enter the square footage, 2185. We'll hit add to cart. And for the InSoFast EX 2.5, it would be $4,862. So the prices are available on the web. You can always call and we can help you work through. You can always call and we'll help you work through how to figure out how much you need. InSoFast is a pretty unique product. You can do it for floors, you can do it for ceilings, you can do it for almost anything you need. It's a surface material that's an insulated surface material that you can mechanically attach, which means screw finishes to it, whether it's drywall, whether it's plywood, whether it's hardy siding. It can be used on the interior, it can be used on the exterior. And I thank you for your patience and listening to me ramble today. We'll try and answer these questions on a frequent basis. So tune in when you can, if you can, and these sessions will be archived. Unless they're really boring and no one watches them, then we'll delete them. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Please like us on Facebook. Please tell all your friends. Subscribe to our InSoFast channel. And thanks for watching. Have a great holiday. And goodbye.